You are now tuned into the sounds of
Big Nate Sports Talk.
It's on all the time, anytime.
Tuned in to Big Nate Sports Talk, the show that is on all the time, anytime. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your host, Nathan Snell.
And as always, thank you, Mr. Anthony Handy, for that wonderful introduction. Happy Friday, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you all had a great week. Hope you're all staying safe. This is another episode of Big Nate Sports Talk podcast. In this episode, I have a very special guest. But before we get into that, there's a few things I would like to say up front. I have my first Washington Mystics article that went up today for the Washington Mystics as they're playing the Toronto Tempo, and their first inaugural game on the road. The Mystics are 0-5 on the road, so I'm hoping they look to end that streak. We'll have a post-game article after the game today. The Ravens and Commanders draft analysis, that is done. Hopefully have that done by this weekend. And Sean Spencer and I were supposed to do something this weekend. Probably we're going to have to push that back. WNBA preview with Brendan Potts, that's up on the Team MBS YouTube channel. Check that out if you haven't already. I haven't put on this YouTube channel just yet, so stay tuned. But other than that, please like, comment, and subscribe for future content. I did post in my thoughts, candid response on the interview that Nafisa Collier did on NPR, and I also did post a reaction on TikTok as well. So check that video on YouTube if you're not already. But that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I want to take a really just a brief moment for this individual. When I put the title, this is somebody I feel like you should always have in your corner and listen to when it comes to wisdom. Because sometimes this individual I give 1,000% flowers, because I feel like without this individual, I don't think I would be in the space that I am in today in terms of media. This individual helped me, along with Aaron, shout out to Aaron, get me into starting with MarylandSportsBlog.com and now with Team MBS Media. And I don't know where I would be without them. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to give a warm welcome to Reba. Let's welcome Reba to the stage. What's going on, Reba?
Hey, that introduction was for me. Wow.
Yes, ma'am. Welcome.
Glad to be here.
Yes, welcome to the podcast. Welcome. Tell people a little bit about yourself.
Not much. I'll tell you, I just like sports. Very boring person. My team is the Connecticut Sun. I'm not gonna lie, I only became a fan because I am a Dewana Bonner fan. And after she left, I chose to stay. I'm a Maryland's Terp women's basketball fan. Not really into the other Terp sports, but if they win, they win. They lose, they lose. But I really focus on the women's basketball when it comes to the University of Maryland.
As we let's lead into that. Where did the love for women's basketball begin for you?
I grew up with a lot of cousins, male cousins. So, and of course my brother. They all played sports. I only had pretty much my sister and another female cousin. They weren't in sports, and I am the youngest of my grandmother's grandchildren. So I gravitated more towards the boys, and they were playing sports.
As far as you mentioned, you're a fan of Connecticut Sun and Maryland women's basketball. How did especially I'll focus on with Maryland women's basketball team for a second. How did that come about?
That came about simply because I'm in the state of Maryland. I live in Maryland, and back in the day they used to play their games on. At the time, it was UPN on Saturday mornings or something. They used to play the Maryland games, and that's where I came across Christy Tolliver and Lauren Harper, and it just stuck with me.
Know about the Connecticut Sun?
Yeah, the Connecticut Sun is funny story, but maybe not. I'm a huge DeWanna Barner fan, but I hate the state of Arizona. So her first 10 years, I rooted for her, but I absolutely hated the Phoenix Mercury. So when she went to Connecticut, I was excited because, I could finally root for her and the team she's on. So that's how I became a Connecticut fan.
Just speak of what is it about Arizona that you don't like?
Well, I was stationed in New Mexico, Albuquerque, New Mexico. So when we used to, travel state to state, Colorado and places like that, Arizona was probably the most racist, like openly racist out of all of those states surrounding Albuquerque. So I just had a huge disdain for that state because every time I went there, we always got into some crap with some racist MFer down there. So I just don't like the state of Arizona. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful state. Like the mountains are.
Is it just a certain part of Arizona?
Well, we went to a few cities in Arizona and they all were fucking racist.
Okay. I got you. Now, we're coming along, we growing up with the WNBA. Are there any other teams that you followed growing up, like such as the Liberty, maybe the Detroit Shock?
I didn't follow teams. I mostly followed players. So
okay.
I was a big Tennessee Lady Vol fan growing up, and Shamiqua Holdsclaw was like my favorite player ever. So of course, when she got drafted to the Mystics, and I'm from Maryland, Mystics was my team. I also love Lisa Leslie, of course. I love Cheryl Swoops, Kim Peratt, Mawadi Mabika. I love those type of players. Tamika Catching. I just loved players. I wasn't really too into teams.
Could you give us your top 5 of all time?
Women's?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not going to go in any particular order, and I'm not going to go off like skill. I'm just going to go off players who I actually loved growing up. So at number 1, I'm going to put Shamiqua Holdsclaw because I just love Shamiqua Holdsclaw. Whole time at Tennessee, her backstory I kind of gravitated to, especially how close she was with her grandmother. Of course, I'm putting Lisa Leslie on there. Lisa Leslie, in my opinion, is the prototype of a forward. Of course, Cheryl Swoops. I'm going to put my girl DeWanna Barner on there. I know people not going to like that, but I'm going to put DeWanna Barner on there. And I'm going to put, number 5 is, I'm going to go with Tina Charles.
Okay.
Because I always loved her skill. I was never really like Tina's my girl, but like that resume, and you just can't shit on it.
Speaking of Tina Charles, she announced her retirement for the second time. What was your reaction to that?
I was kind of disappointed, but I kind of saw it coming. I just don't know how to feel about it because she can definitely still play, and I think she can definitely help some teams right now, but you can kind of tell that it's the end of, coming towards the end of her career. So why not go on, when you're happy? She could have went to another team and just had a terrible last year in the league and said, screw it. But she had fun in Connecticut. Why not end with happy memories? I wish she could have got like some type of retirement tour.
Agreed.
I didn't like Sylvia Fowles' retirement tour. I think it was kind of half.
Yeah.
They kind of half-assed it, and then she had to share it with Sue. Which
yeah,
of course,
that.
she wasn't ever going to be the priority with Sue retiring the same year. Mm-hmm. And then we never got a chance to have Simone Augustus retire as well either.
Yep, that's true. That's true. And then, you obviously going back to Connecticut, we all know that Connecticut is moving to Houston after this year, and which ends an era of success in Connecticut. And we don't know if they'll be the Houston Comets, because I know there's a dispute on the name, but just overall thoughts of them going back to Houston.
I do not like it. I don't like it. Kind of iffy about how it all happened. They were offered more money and offered more incentive, basically to stay in the New England area. So it seems like they kind of got bullied into selling it to Houston, or I forgot the family that bought it. Kind of bullied into selling that to him because Kathy looks like Kathy and the NBA commissioner guy. They want teams, WNBA teams with like NBA teams. They want them in the same city, which I kind of get. But if you already have a good thing, like, why not just make that an expansion city and, move Connecticut?
Agreed. How do you think that will look? Because my understanding is after this year, most of the front office and coaching staff will be gone, but the roster will stay. That's my understanding.
That's what it's looking like. We don't know for sure, but that's definitely what it's looking like.
How do you like the? I'm sorry. Finish. I'm sorry. My apologies.
Go ahead.
How do you like the with Morgan Tuck taking over the role of what Darius did in terms of kind of building this roster from the bottom and kind of probably the next 2 to 3 years potentially building a championship roster?
I think she's hit it out of the park every she only had 2 drafts. This is her second by herself, I believe, but she hit it out of the park both times, in my opinion. And I have to give her flowers, because last year I did not want Sanaya Rivers, and I did not want Anissa Morrow. I thought Anissa Morrow was too small. Yeah, I thought she was too small. And Sanaya Rivers, I just never was a fan of her game at like NC State. So I was like, how is this going to translate over to the pros? But they both told me to shut the hell up, and they balled out. I'll give her flowers on that.
Last year, you don't mind me asking?
I forgot who I wanted, honestly. They're not even in the league, so I forgot who I wanted last year.
It's all good. And obviously, with this year's draft for Connecticut, which was actually interesting, just your overall thoughts?
I don't love it and I don't hate it, so I'm kind of neutral about it. We definitely could use some scoring. So Gianna Nimpkins is, she's known for, her threes. And then I do like Charlize Leisure Walker. She's a great point guard. So her in the backcourt with Lacan, I'm eager to see that. I don't know if they're ever going to be on a court at the same time. I mean, you got to try it at least once. But I like the 2 picks. And then the people that we cut Bigsby. I think Bigsby was our last pick. We cut Bigsby. I kind of liked her as well. I was hoping we give her a development contract. The people we brought in the training camp, Reagan Beers made the team. We got Oldacre in there. Of course, she didn't make the team, but I kind of like all the picks and then all the training camp invites. I was hoping Harmony Turner made the team.
I thought so too.
Got a development spot, but we didn't work out.
Yeah. My next question: do you feel like, and I know this has been touched on X, But do you feel like the W as a whole, we're growing a little too fast in terms of expansion and not roster expansion?
I do. I really do. Because I've been seeing, some of these preseason games and those seats look kind of empty. And we're just expanding team after team after team after team. Next year, I think we get Detroit and
Cleveland, I think.
Cleveland, and then we got a team in is in Colorado. Didn't they get a team? Or Denver get a team or something like that?
I think.
Yeah, so they're coming to like Philadelphia.
Philly.
And it reminds me of the time where I was a kid and we had the initial 8 teams.
Mm-hmm.
We had some great stellar years, and it just started adding teams and adding teams and adding teams. And most of those teams aren't here anymore. The Monarchs aren't here anymore.
Yep.
The Miami Soul aren't here anymore. We got a couple teams that relocated. The Orlando Miracle is the Sun, and now they're going to be the Houston Comets. The Houston Comets folded because nobody would buy them.
Yep.
I just don't want that to happen again because that it took the W years to get out of that.
That's true. I agree. And also too, I think there's not a lot of talent that's already on teams that I think you can respectfully say like they're the face of a franchise or they're a star player. Correct. I feel like for example, like there's a player that Toronto paid $1 million, and I realistically, like I don't even know if it's even fair to criticize them. Like we just like they just threw a bag and just said, "Hey, have $1 million." Like that's not smart as a GM. But
and then as the player, I'm not turning it down. So you really can't fault anybody because they were kind of in like a situation where we have to get rid of this money. We do have a salary cap, but everybody else, they either chose somewhere else or I'm not willing to give them $1 million. This person may not be, an all-star, but I'm willing to give them $1 million. Why? I don't know, but
yeah, that's true. Were there any surprises in this draft as a whole that stuck out to you that were some, I'm not surprised, but then there were some WTFs?
The surprising moment for me, I thought Raven Johnson would probably get like maybe towards the end of the first round or early second. Her going 10th to Indiana did surprise me. But it makes sense basketball-wise.
Okay.
Tanaya Latson falling so low to 20. I thought she was definitely going to be like a first-round pick, probably like 13 or 14 or something like that. Roy Harmon, I believe, was drafted way too low. I don't think she should have been I think she was 3rd round. I don't think Roy Harmon should have been a 3rd rounder. Sarah Williams barely getting drafted and then getting traded from us to Portland. And I want to give us some credit. We were very heavy at that 4 or 5 spot.
Yep.
She probably wouldn't have gotten a lot of playing time. We sent her to Portland. She definitely made the team, and she's going to play in Portland. So I appreciate when teams do that. Like, hey, we made a mistake, but we're going to set you up for success. So we're going to send you to Portland. And that was a great move. I don't think she makes the team if she stays with us.
That's true. How do you think Flagey was going to look in Seattle?
Honestly, I didn't know. I know she was going to be like higher energy. She's going to be the same person she was at LSU. Fast, hustle player, get to the basket, all types of other stuff. I was more curious to see her in Golden State. And we didn't get that opportunity. But I think her going to Seattle is probably, I wouldn't even say a blessing in disguise. It's a straight up blessing. She's definitely, she's already loved by fans. She's getting playing time in the preseason games we saw. She looked good. So that might have been a blessing for her. I just look at Golden State pretty weird.
Yeah, I do agree with your theory. You mentioned like a couple nights ago. I definitely agree with that. With Golden State, something about them this just doesn't. It definitely is off. I definitely agree
Yeah,
with that.
I just don't get. I don't get it. I mean, maybe they're tanking for Juju, but like in my opinion, if you didn't want the 8 pick, you could have traded it before the draft.
Yeah, and but also too, like I do think she didn't. Their GM did not read this new CBA. I could be wrong,
Mhm.
but yeah,
Yeah, I think they have like some type of the disconnect between like emotion and business and basketball. eh, They're not the best at it. Like they've
Mhm.
been very harsh with some of the questions they've been asked. With
Very.
some of the answers they've been asked about. Last year they kind of rubbed me the wrong way about how they talked about Cheyenne Sellers. This
Yes, I
year, the
remember
way
that.
they talked
Mhm.
about Marta Suarez, I just don't like some of the verbiage they use when describing certain players and certain decisions they make. Even
Yes,
with the Flage thing,
yeah,
we got
that was strange.
yeah, it was weird. We got 3 different stories. First, they didn't want to talk about it at all. Second
And it was
story
about
is Martha fits our team scheme a little bit better than Flage, and then third, we were doing this the whole time. It was the plan the whole time to do this, and I'm like, what's the truth?
yeah, yeah, but also too, like honestly, like we will see how this trade looks honestly in about 2 years. Because
Right.
I don't think Golden State. I think they kind of took a step back this year. Personally, that's just my opinion. I don't think they really addressed the shooting that they needed from last year. I think they invested in more in defense, but I think they need more. They needed more shooters. I don't think they really addressed that.
I'm
That's
not
just me.
sure. I'm not sure if they like regressed a little bit because remember last year before Kayla Thornton got hurt, she was balling.
Yeah,
She was balling, and then they kept Burton, who I thought was should have been the number one priority. They kept her. They pretty much bringing back the same people from last year. We got to wait for the international girls to come back
yeah,
over there, but I think they'll probably look the same as they did last year. I don't think
yeah.
they regressed. I think if anything, they stayed the same.
I agree. That's fair. That I'll concede that. That's a fair point. Um, my next question, obviously, for this year, well, the last couple of years, we've seen a lot of the international players
Mhm.
get a little bit more love over the American prospects. Do you feel like we're going in a more different direction um, globally for the W? Do you feel like that's a good thing or that's a bad thing?
I think we're going in, the global direction, which I don't have a problem with if these international players can perform at a certain level or even come over. Like they don't even come over to play their rookie years and
Mhm.
things like that. When Atlanta got punched the year before, she
Hmm.
didn't come over till she was, traded.
That's
And
right.
the young lady who just decided to go to Kentucky after being drafted to
Drafted,
Chicago the year before, and they still have her rights.
which is weird.
Yeah, which I don't like either, because I think if you enter the draft, whether you step on the court or not, your rookie year, you cannot go back to college.
College.
I think they should revoke your rights.
I
And I
agree.
think that should happen with the men as well. Like the men should not be able to play for the G League and then come back when things don't work out. I'm not a fan of that at all. Um, and I don't think enough of them play well at the speed that we play to justify them getting all of these spots.
I agree. I definitely agree with that. Um, my next question, obviously, you touched on Atlanta. We all know Angel Reese was traded
Mm-hmm.
from Chicago after that. I don't know what you want to call it, dumpster fire. But we all
Mm-hmm.
knew it wasn't going to work in Chicago, and she's going into a good situation where most teams don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
But she's going into a situation where she's going alongside Ryan Howard, uh, Alicia Gray, Bree Jones, Naz Hillman, Jordan Canada. How do you think that's going to look?
Honestly, I don't know until Bree Jones is healthy. Because Atlanta did the BG and Breonna Jones thing last season, and I didn't personally like it. I didn't think that was a great fit. And obviously, they didn't either. BG is in Connecticut with us this year. So I have to see until like Breonna Jones gets healthy and they're at full strength. I got to, like, it's something I have to see. But I think they should do fine. I think they'll finish in at least the top 5. Worst case scenario, like top 5. If they stay healthy, injuries happen, but they're a top 5 team at minimum, in my opinion. I do worry about their bench, but I don't think too many teams in the league right now have a staunch bench. So, like, the problem I have with them is probably a problem I probably have with any other team in the league right now.
I'm mad that they cut Stephanie. I was kind of hoping
I
she'd
am
make the
too.
roster.
I am too, because it seems like she gets to the last day of cuts, and every year it's the last day of cuts, and that's when they cut her. So obviously teams like her enough, to keep bringing her back to training camps. I'm just hoping she lands in the spot that could keep her. Because I like the way she looked during, that preseason game. I thought she looked great out there playing with, she was out there with Medina Okad and then some of the other players. I like that bench that they had out there. I think it was, I like those girls, and none of them made the team except for Medina. It looked like
Medina, I don't know. I'm kind of curious, like, when they're making the cuts, like, what specifically are you looking for? Like, is it just fit? Is it just? I don't know. It's just weird when it comes. I think
it has to be a multitude of things. Like, if I already have a relationship with you, because I see Dulcie from Dallas. She used to be coached by Jose. He gave her a development spot. Not saying she doesn't deserve it, because I loved Dulcie when she was in Seattle, and I wish Seattle would have kept her. It could be anything: the relationship with the coaching staff, the fit. Are you going to save us some money? Are we going to have to spend too much money? Things like that. Or are you a locker room piece? Do you get along with all the girls? Like, sometimes teams would rather take, the person that shuts up and dribbles.
Yeah. Even with this expansion draft example, Leah Nye, who got taken out from the expansion draft, who I thought played well. I mean, she did all right in this preseason, gets cut, which I think is, that's frustrating, but I don't know.
I mean, it can't be any frustrating than Chloe Bibby getting traded and then Wade. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. Well,
and then to see that the Mercury picked up the young lady that was in New York, who I thought played great, Melly.
Yeah.
The last name is. I seen her over in the WNBA, and she's great over there. So I understand that, because she's been balling for quite some time over there in the WNBA. I just wish, I just don't understand that trade from either side. Like, why trade Chloe Bibby? Because Portland's not going to look good, in my opinion. They're not going to look great.
Well, I knew with Chloe it was going to be kind of a case closed when the reporter didn't even pronounce her name correctly, Chloe Beebe, and I was like,
yeah, but with the W media, that's par for the course. So, like, you never know. I mean, yesterday we just got Dominique Malunga confused with a walk fan.
That was. It's not. I should have laughed, but Dominique just was like, okay.
Correct. That happens way too often, and I think it's going to happen a little bit more. I think the W needs to do a little better job of, with the credentials they're getting out. A lot of these reporters are there because they work for an organization that needs them, and somebody working on the W's, like, because the W's becoming so popular right now. You have to have somebody talk about it. But, like, if you have somebody who doesn't really care, just needs to do anything, they're not going to take the time out to learn how to pronounce these players' names or learn any history or research about them. They're just going to get a couple quotes and shove it down, your throat. There's no passion behind some of them. And the people that do have passion for it, they can't get credentials.
Yeah. I mean, I'm like, for me, like, I've been trying to get, like, for the Mystics, trying to get, like, full-time season credentials, and it's like, no. Like, I mean, we can get you single season, and it's, and I get it, but it's just, it's not just me, it's others, the same situation. But I get it. It's I get both sides, but at the same time, like you said, it's, I don't know, it's just depending.
I don't get it, because if you really care about the W and the growth of it, it starts with the media.
Mm-hmm.
You can see who they let in and how they can build a narrative about a team. So like we want good publicity. I'm sorry, we do. Like we can have the people with their hot takes and all that stuff, but eventually we're going to have to get back to basketball and people talking about basketball. So that's why I love Nikias. I love him. Callie from Vegas. I love her. Tarika from Connecticut. I don't know. She's still with us this season, but I think she moved on to USA Today, I believe.
Yes.
I'm not sure.
I know she does.
I low-key missing LaChina at ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
Like people who, LaChina actually played basketball. We need more people like that. Like people that are actually interested because they play basketball or they love the W and not because it's popular right now.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. What's my next question I have here? When you look at obviously the Nafisa, I mentioned earlier the NPR interview she had and the comment that she made about the physicality. What were your thoughts on that?
Nafisa Collier is one of the I'm trying to sound politically correct. She's one of the more physical players on defense. And for her to say that after her, she being the physical player she won Defensive Player of the Year because her defense was so physical and tough.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe last year put a sour taste in her mouth because of the whole AT thing. And also it kind of puts her at an even playing field with some of these players. It puts her at an even playing field with Stewie and Asia if I can go to the line 6 or 7 times a game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we're all 25-point average scorers, I got to get to the line. And then this year she's going to have to work a little bit harder because they don't have the weapons they used to have last year. So yeah, I'm going to need that defense to open up, or the refs to call the game a little bit closer because I have to score. And she only gave Minnesota 1 year. Her window for a championship, I don't want to say it's closed, but with this roster on paper, it's closed.
Yes, I agree. I think it closed last year, personally.
I thought if they could keep everyone together and stay healthy, they had a chance this year. But you lose Shepard, you lose Alana Smith, you lose Heidemann. I wasn't too sure what direction they were going to go. I was actually surprised that Courtney stayed.
I was somebody off that court was going to stay.
I thought it would have been Nafisa though.
I mean, outside of Fee, Courtney, Courtney would have probably stayed. Most everybody would have left for money.
I thought Courtney would have left for money. That's the thing. Mm-hmm. I'm sure there was other teams that's willing to give her that $1 million.
Yeah. But I think
I'm surprised that what really surprised me is that what the heck is her name? Her name slips my mind. Freaking the 3-pointer.
Kayla McBride.
I am surprised she stayed. I really am. I thought last year was her last year in Minnesota. I was surprised that she stayed. I really am. But honestly, this year they're going to need her.
Yes. I'm hoping that the forward from Russia, Anastasia.
Yeah, I do like her.
I think this is she. I think her and Dork. I think take a step forward this year.
I have a question for you. Do you think Minnesota should have taken Lauren Betts after we figured out, Dork is going to be out with that foot injury? You're not going to have Fee for a few months, and then, you got Natasha Howard, and then you got the rookie, well, second year player, the Russian young lady coming off the bench. Do you think they should have taken Lauren Betts?
They could have took Lauren or Awa. One of them was right, both of them were right there.
Right.
Cheryl made it clear that they weren't going to rebuild, which I thought was kind of weird for her to say. But what's funny is Cheryl's not the GM anymore, so
Correct.
that kind of lets me know she still, I think, has a lot to say. But they should have taken Lauren. But after Dallas, if I'm being honest, Lauren should have been in Minnesota, but her falling to Washington, I think, was a blessing in disguise. For
absolutely.
her, because I think the way the discourse on Lauren has been extremely disingenuous, and for someone who has seen her in person last year covering Maryland, she should have been the number one. She should have been the number one overall pick. I like AZ. I think she's a good player, but she doesn't fit. She does not fit what a number one overall pick is. That's just my opinion. I think
it puts a lot more pressure on her as well.
I think she complements a role player, but what defines a number one overall pick? No. I get it. She's a little younger than Lauren, so you look at a project. You're basically looking at like a Dominique Malunga almost. So, yeah, Olivia. I think Olivia will be fine for her in Minnesota, but to pass up on Lauren, unless they got some bright plan in 27. Or they're gonna come cook some trade up mid-season.
Because I'm confused about that. Because what are you gonna put around Olivia after this season?
Yeah. So
if he does leave, what are you gonna put around Olivia?
Yeah, you have to wait and see. Because these games are not won on paper, and they know that. Cheryl knows that. Because after this year, I could see most of that group free agency, because Fee didn't really want to, and I applaud the reporter from NPR trying to nudge an answer, but she wasn't budging one bit. She more than likely is going to ring chase. She probably will pull a JJ, unfortunately. No shade. But I think
it's so tough with this new CBA. What team do you go to ring chase? Because we've seen, players ring chase and not get anything. I mean, Tip Hayes came out of retirement to ring chase. Tina Charles, her last few years in the league, she was chasing the ring. Never got it. So it's hard to ring chase because you never know what's going to happen. People get injured, all types of things. So it's tough.
Yeah.
To ring chase.
No, you're right. I agree. And she's not coming back till June, so we don't really know what this Minnesota team will look like without her. So,
I know, for all we know, they might be the best team in the league. You never know.
That's true. And we've seen them actually, even when they were playing well without her, too. They held the fort down.
Yeah, they did. They were doing decent without her.
So
those pieces are gone now.
Yeah. See, and that's too. That's yeah. Yeah. My next question is with the Mystics. I know we're a couple years now. We're moved from the Tebows, and we just moved on from Miss Weltman, the GM. City Johnson's taken over, and to have 6 picks this past draft: Lauren Betts, Angela Dugalich, Cody McMahon, and just I got 2 of those first round picks right. I wanted Reba Johnson with Washington, but that's okay. Cassandra Prosper, Dorian Littlepage Bugs, and Rory Harmon. Do you feel like Washington's heading in the right direction?
Absolutely. I can definitely see Washington and being kind of like the OKC Thunder of the WNBA. And I'm hoping like Shakira becomes, I know they don't play the same position, but since Shakira did stay, I want her to become that Alexander type player I want her to become that for the Mystics. I mean, it's going to be hard because that team has got such a huge upside, with Citron, Kiki, Bet. I like Cody. She got injured. Hopefully, she'll be back soon.
Yeah.
I just like the upside of it. I thought their GM did a good job last year, did a great job this year. They really intrigue me. And I didn't even talk about Georgia Amor. Now she's healthy this year, so
yes,
see her as well.
I feel like she's definitely a revenge tour.
Yeah, I just like her.
Yeah, my only concern is, though I wanted personally Raven, and I had Greg Jones on here, and I kind of gave the logic of having Raven run the point and Georgia run the 2. Kind of have Georgia off ball, because don't get me wrong, Georgia can handle the ball, but Georgia kind of reminds me of what Sarah Tibiasu was at Maryland for us.
Yes.
And it took Sarah a little bit of time to adjust to Brenda's system.
Yeah, but when she did, wow.
Yes. So I mean, I don't get me wrong. I think Georgia will find her. We'll get going. So
I think offensively, like her shooting and getting points, that's probably going to take the longest. But the running the point and all that good stuff, I think she'll be fine.
Yep. I agree. Couple more WNBA questions, and I want to talk about the Maryland Terrapins, if that's okay.
Sure.
With the WNBA, who is your pick to be MVP?
I'm gonna go with Asia Wilson until somebody proves me otherwise. Like, I just why not? Because you can bet against her, and the voter fatigue thing. They're probably tired of voting for her for MVP. But until somebody proves otherwise, I'm gonna go with Asia Wilson. I do like. I think Stewie could have like a nice comeback year. I think Alicia Gray's going to be up there. Of course, AT's going to be up there. I think one of these expansion teams players, maybe I'm not sure who, but I could see someone from an expansion team, a new expansion team this year, kind of getting some buzz. But I'm going to go with Asia Wilson.
Okay. How about the Rookie of the Year?
Rookie of the Year. I think it's going to be a surprise. I know a lot of people are saying Olivia Miles, but I think it could be somebody like a Lauren Beck.
Okay, I can see that.
And I can also see Lauren Beck if she doesn't start winning like a 6th Woman of the Year, something like that. I could see a rookie winning 6th Woman of the Year this year.
Okay, I had I put Lauren. I low key for a second put Awa, but I put Olivia, Lauren, and Awa. So I
haven't seen Awa play enough to.
Yeah,
I haven't seen her play enough. So.
But that Lauren is. I try to be fair, not be a homer, so I had to put somebody else there. AZ, I think I put her in there as well.
As Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, but not as a front runner.
Okay.
Not as
so like all rookie team.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about defensively? Who do you think takes a step forward this year?
Veronica Burton. I think Veronica Burton takes a step forward this year. Voters seem to be open to give guards, defensive players of the years now. Usually it used to be only forwards and centers. But steals are just as important as blocks, in my opinion. An extra possession is an extra possession. And with the block, your team still has to get the ball after you blocking. The other team can still get it, and it's still not another possession. Still, that's definitely an extra possession. So I think I like Veronica Burton. Of course, I like Asia Wilson. We'll see about Sanaya Rivers. We'll see about Lacan as well. Like when Lacan gets back, Lacan played less than half the season and led the league in steals. So.
Okay, I like that. I did have one about your girl. She got signed by Chicago. Do you feel like that's a sleeper team?
Chicago?
Yes.
Do I think they're a sleeper team? Mm-hmm. No, I think they're still in the same spot they were. Like they're going to be a competitive team. They should, with this roster, they should make the playoff. Mm-hmm. But I don't see them, making a deep playoff run or being a threat to anyone like who the teams I think are contenders. Vegas, Atlanta. I'm always going to say New York because of Stewie. Okay. Indiana as well. I don't think they could compete with any of those teams. Could I be wrong? Absolutely, because they haven't played any of them yet. So I think they're in the same spot. But I think the only difference is they're willing to let this actually grow and develop. They couldn't actually do it the last 2 years. It was under so much scrutiny and it was getting hard to do your job. So like this, these years from now on, they got peace, so they can make, moves and stuff like that and figure stuff out a little bit more peacefully.
For sure. I'm sorry. I did actually have a couple questions about with you with being the OG of Twitter Spaces. I apologize. Like, how did that come about? If you don't mind me asking.
Twitter Spaces, that came about because at the time, like everyone was doing it. So like Dolores was doing them, Lowe was doing them, and at that time, you could get a basketball player or any, a W player that would just, come on and shoot the crap with you, and it was just a good time. Now it's kind of gotten a little, I won't say weird, but it's gotten a little bit more, I'm going to just say it's weird. With the new attention it's gotten, it's brought in like newer fans. So the disconnect between the fans that actually, want to watch basketball and then the fans that are kind of new, they're a lot younger. Mm-hmm. So, disconnect. I'm old, so.
I got you. Are you planning on bringing back your music spaces? I know you was doing that, and if you do, I do promise to jump on one of those.
Yeah, I would love to bring it back, but like my spaces don't get a lot of people that want to come on stage to talk about music or to talk about basketball or anything. I got Bree is always there when she has free time. She's always up there talk to me. Of course, Ty will talk to me. But other than that, I don't really get too many people that want to actually talk on stage. They'll leave stuff in the comments and stuff, but that I would love to do music spaces again. It just doesn't get enough traction.
Yeah, that's true. Let's transition to Maryland Terrapins. Sure. Last year, this past season, we painfully lost to the North Carolina Tar Heels. Mm-hmm. In the midst of that, we saw some quality pieces that helped us get from where we were last year, beating Alabama, and South Carolina. Transfer Kayleen's at Tennessee. Issy is at Oklahoma. Kendall is at Georgia Tech. Monty's at Arizona. Nicole is, oh my gosh. Shout out to Faith Harris for tweeting
saw where she went. I forgot where it was, but I just saw she.
At the school. But we got majority of a core back. Aluchi's back. Bree's back.
Mm-hmm.
Moria's back. We did get Nunu. Other than that, those kind of really the solid picks. We did get Trinity Jones. We did get Ava Grace from England. Mimi and Jordan Jackson. How are you feeling up this upcoming season?
I honestly don't know. We did get some really good pieces, but chemistry matters a lot in basketball. Mm-hmm. So we might hit some rough patches and hit some learning curves. But overall, I'm happy with it, especially getting Nunu. We've been trying to get a big for quite some time. So I don't hate it.
Was there anything last year this past season mm-hmm. that you liked from any player, whether it was Addie, Rainey, even Moria in the time that she got, that you liked that you saw that you hope to see get better this upcoming season?
The player I love the most left. I love Kendall Walker. I like Addie as well. Addie Mack. I kind of would like to see her be a little bit her. Don't want to say IQ, but her situational awareness when taking a shot. I do not like. I'm not a fan of her shot selection. But there's obviously plenty of talent there that we can grow on. I'm just happy to have Bree back because I think we're going to look different with Bree back.
For sure.
Just her on the floor, our players, react different, higher energy and all that stuff. So just having her back. Lucci, she's going to be an integral piece like she was this year. Mm-hmm. I just don't know how we're going to look because to be honest with you, every year I don't know how we're going to look, but we end up being just fine. So I'm not worried about it at all.
I agree. I kind of thought we were going to run it back with most of the roster. But once Kayleen and Issy transferred, I was kind of like, oh, wow. Like,
I kind of saw Smichael. I saw the writing on the wall with that one. When I noticed that, she wasn't on the bench for games, and other injured players was, I was like, I kind of set off something like, I don't think she's coming back. I was surprised about Kendall and Ozzy.
Yeah, Kendall for sure. Yeah, Coach Blair is definitely got a real one.
Mm-hmm.
I think that one was definitely over. I could see starting minutes. I don't really see what I wish I could dive a little bit more deeper into that one. That one's not strange, but that one was kind of like, oh,
yeah, right. Okay. Oh, yeah.
You remember like Shanice Lewis?
Yes.
That's kind of like that, almost, if that makes sense.
Right, and it's kind of like the year before with the Riley Nelson situation. I was like, we kind of loved you. I know you got injured, but we were all in on you.
Yeah. And on top of that, with Riley, she got hurt and was cracking the starting rotation. So
correct.
That's the frustrating part. So, yeah. So, yeah, I'm excited for this young group. Coach Freeze always seems to do the right things when it comes to recruiting, the transfer portal, and I think we'll be just fine. I think
so too.
I don't really fear anybody in the Big Ten. I don't really fear other than maybe Indiana, Michigan. Not
fear
Kansas,
Indiana and Michigan?
in Michigan,
Oh.
but Michigan, because they whipped us.
Yeah, I mean we got whooped by some of them. Like,
But outside of that,
I'm not scared of anybody really either. I'm not scared of UCLA.
oh no,
I know USC gets Juju back.
I
So
forgot.
I'm still like, there's nobody that I'm scared to play in the
Now that's a
conference.
team
Like,
I'm
if we
really
lose, we
interested in
lose,
watching.
but I'm not scared of anybody.
True. And on top of that, they're actually coming back here
Right.
this time. So that is something to be watching for. Because last time when they came, everybody came to see Juju. So
Right.
Are you going to be in the building this year?
Probably not.
Okay. That's fair. I always ask everyone this question that I've interviewed, and because you've been in a big part of what this is today, Reba. If I could find it in 1 second. What is your why?
My why, I'm not gonna lie to you, I have no clue. I'm not gonna lie to you. I really have no clue. Right now my why is like just the people that love me. So my family, mom, sister, brother, girlfriend, uh cats, my two cats. I only have, one with me, the other one's with my sister. But my why is people, that love me, and I love them. So that's my why.
I like that. Short and to the point. I respect that. Um, Anything coming interesting down the pipe for you?
Nope.
How's
I'm just gonna do, my spaces. I usually, do them when I have free time.
okay?
So that's usually like on Sundays. I mean, in the W season, I like to do a little bit. I do spaces a little bit more because I do the sports betting. Um, so just spaces and you know keep on living.
Okay. How's the um how's the sports bet? I know you did some sports betting. Anything? Are you doing anything like that still?
Well, I took a lot of time off, so like I haven't betted in probably about 2-3 months.
Okay.
Today is the first time I made a uh slip. So today I made a slip for the W opening day.
Okay.
Um, so I like to bet more closer to like the summer because baseball and the W and NHL and then the NBA playoff.
You bet on the
I kind of
Orioles?
like that, huh?
You been bet on the Orioles?
No, I haven't.
Oh, thank God. 'Cause,
Yeah, like I haven't bet it in quite some time, so it's been almost a couple of months, so I haven't been you know betting too much on basketball at all. I mean baseball at all. I'm just starting back with the W, but I'm going to start mixing and matching other sports, the baseball and the NBA, and then NHL, and then I wish they would do soccer, women's soccer, a little bit more.
yes.
Um,
I'm trying to get into that, especially following the Washington Spirit. I'm trying to get into that.
yeah, I'm trying to get into it too because like some of these personalities, like I follow them on social media, and they got great
Mhm.
personalities. I just don't see the games enough, and they're
Yeah.
hard. Like, I won't say they're hard to find, but like I don't know where the games are.
They are,
It's kind
exactly.
of like the W, like they're on every single channel. So like, what time and what day are you going to be on this channel, or who's going to play
Exactly.
this? Like, yeah.
Yep. Because especially it's like especially like the Washington Spirit because they've been so good last couple years,
Mm-hmm.
and I know they just lost again in the finals. And it's kind of like damn, like I'm really trying to like definitely see what they're doing this year. I know they got rid of I forgot what's her name. She got traded to Kansas City, I think it was.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I forgot her name though.
But yeah,
I
so
was kind of shocked by that trade.
yeah, so I think that was definitely, you know, I'm looking for a payday too. So, but we can't pay. We paid Trinity, so we can't have two big contracts. That's DC. That's DC sports for you. We could pay one, but not everybody.
Right.
So, can I leave your Twitter, your Twitter in the description?
Sure.
Reba, thank you for joining me on this episode. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Again, ladies and gentlemen, Reba, like I said, you've been a big part of this, helping me grow this brand of where it's been. Much appreciate you and Aaron both. So I'm giving you and your flowers for that.
Oh, thank you.
Continue to do great things for the women's game.
You do the same.
I appreciate
this up. I really like this for you. You're gonna get your your permanent pass for the Mystics. You're gonna get everything you want. Just keep going.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to conclude this episode. Please like, comment, and subscribe for our future content. And I'll catch you on the flip side. Have a great weekend. Stay safe, and we'll talk soon. Peace. Stay out.
Thank you for tuning in to Big Nate Sports Talk. If you enjoyed that episode and you want to see more content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
And I want to thank you. All I want to do is say thank you.
I'm elevated, oh yeah. We was waiting, oh yeah. To make a statement, it's clear. The way them boys persevere. Yo, we taking the stairs. Don't let them get in our air. They go watch, I'ma stare. Tell them pull up a chair. God gon' answer our prayers. Living now. They told me dreams come true once you live it out. I picked the pieces from my childhood in a broken house. And heal my soul from the trauma we've been giving out. I hear the whispers in the wind under smoky clouds. And tell myself once again, I'ma work it out. So much shit can happen, yo, it got me tripping now. Yeah, it's feeling different now.
I wonder if it's worth living now. They told me working 9 to 5 just to make it out. And now the dark nights got me needing mouth to mouth. Resuscitate my dreams, tell me what it's all about. I wonder if it's worth living now. They told me show a little skin just to make it out. They told me grind until I doubt, till I reach the clouds. Excuse me a little moment while I break out. Never let